So crypto markets are dumping significantly right now, guys. And on top of that, everyone is talking about how we are more than likely seeing a flash signal of the 2025 bear market already starting. And pretty much with all the downward deviations we've been seeing with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and altcoins as well. This has crypto investors anticipating more deviations around Bitcoin. On top of that, since the government just reopened up, we have some key news events that are going to be happening this week, which is going to be causing a whole bunch of volatility. And at the end of the day, no one truly knows what's going to be happening, which is something that is super important whenever you're trying to navigate and learn more about the crypto space and just understand exactly how to position yourself. Altcoins have been getting destroyed. Bitcoin has been getting destroyed. Everybody in crypto has been getting destroyed. And in today's video, I want to walk you through the price action that we're currently seeing, the news events that are going to be happening this week, and the perspectives, not only from the bears, but also the bulls, and what you should be expecting if you're investing in crypto. So with all that being said, let's go and jump straight into the charts and what you need to be aware of if you have an altcoin portfolio. So as I said, markets are deviating nasty. There has just been some crazy red in the markets, guys. Bitcoin breaking previous support multiple times, sitting at 91,000, and Ethereum as well, sitting right above 3,000. You can see in terms of the price action that we have been seeing on a consecutive basis, guys, for the past week, honestly longer if we start to zoom out even more. And I don't want you to get confused with all these support and resistance lines and the trend lines I'm drawing right here. All you really need to know is that we have been in a downward deviation, testing zones consecutively, but just respecting this downward trend line. And a lot of people are anticipating that we are about to hit a level of support, but others are saying that there isn't no real sign of a bottom. Ethereum right now is also doing this same downward price action, hitting specific areas of resistance, seeing support, and then breaking down below it. And this is something that we have just been seeing consecutively as the wells are getting liquidated. We're starting to see a lot of insiders and overall a lot of moving parts, especially with the government shutdown that took place. And right now, altcoins are pretty much just following the price action around Ethereum in terms of the downward move that they've been having. They pretty much hit an area of support, dance around for a little bit, and then from there pretty much just start to break down even more. So in terms of Bitcoin dominance, this is one of the main indicators that lets us know how liquidity is looking, and it also has been on a downward move. And this is why everyone is saying that the 2025 crypto bear market has just flashed and that we are pretty much just going to keep deviating even more. And one of the biggest things was that pretty much Bitcoin returned all of its gains that it made in 2025 today. Pretty much everything, it has been just crashing down, and finally today has pretty much labeled the day how we have already returned all of the gains that we have been making in 2025 back into the market. So this is not looking too hot. This is where a lot of people are anticipating that more deviations could be happening. And if you have an altcoin portfolio, more than likely you're going to be feeling more pain. And if you're someone that really needs the money, I'm not going to be telling you that altcoin season is just going to start automatically. I'm very real on this channel. You need to wait until the total 3E chart starts to flash signals that we are about to break above. And on this downward momentum, we are not seeing that. We are testing areas of support, but are we going to hold? That's the biggest question, guys. Moving into the week, we have some key news events. And as the weeks progress, I didn't drop any videos this weekend, mainly due to the fact that my YouTube channel is kind of performing really poor. And I have to put in all the time and energy to shoot these videos and keep you updated with everything that's going on. So make sure you guys leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. But I try to keep you updated with the news events so you can have an understanding on exactly why there's so much volatility in specific days. So Monday already happened, guys. By the time you're watching this video, it's already Tuesday. New York Fed manufacturing data. Wednesday, we pretty much have two things: the Fed meeting minutes report, which is going to be really important, and Nvidia reports its earnings, which is also going to have a drastic effect on, the S&P 500, a few other different things. Now, moving into Thursday, we have the September jobs report and the Philly Fed manufacturing data, and also the October existing home sales data. We have so much reporting happening, guys, because the government is has opened back up, and now we're starting to see all of the data slowly roll in. Moving further into it, this is where we're gonna be jumping into Friday, which is gonna be closing out the week, this is where we're gonna be seeing a lot of volatility. So November services PMI data, November manufacturing PMI data, MI consumer sentiment data, MI inflation expectations data as well. There's a total of 14 Fed speaker events this week. Buckle up, folks. Economic data is back. And the reason why we're seeing all the fluctuations, all this data rolling out, This is due to the fact that the government shutdown has been happening for, the longest government shutdown in history, over 40 days. So this is where a lot of people are anticipating that all of this data that's going to be coming out is going to be having a drastic effect on the markets. I think we're going to be seeing pumps and we're going to be seeing dumps. I don't think we're just going to be seeing continuous downward momentum. We're continuously bouncing based off of these trend lines that I was showing you. And this is where a lot of people are expecting crazy volatility, and you should be too. Don't expect that one day everything's just going to be okay, especially with how everything is slowly rolling out. Now, moving into the perspective from the Kobesi letter, we jump more into the liquidations that have been happening in the market. And it gives you an understanding as to why everyone is calling this the 2025 bear market and how it's just started. So if we jump a little bit more into it, Kobesi letter literally has a great post saying it's safe to say that crypto just experienced its 2025 bear market. Since October 6th, in 42 days, crypto has erased $1.2 trillion in market cap, or negative 28% of its entire value. Moving down more, crypto liquidations continue. Another $1 billion worth of leveraged crypto positions have now been liquidated in 24 hours. This brings total liquidations to around negative 4.5 billion over the last 7 days. Interestingly, liquidations spiked by 300 million over the last 4 hours. It almost seems like a large player was liquidated today, which more than likely has happened because we're seeing a lot of big players being liquidated, which is leading to a Bitcoin drop all the way down to 91,000, which happened at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wild times for crypto, to say the least. And this is where I'm telling you guys, the volatility is crazy. Most altcoin investors are done. They've already sold their portfolios because they're deviating more. They're done. When in reality, if you're in such a loss, you should be dollar cost averaging into those positions so that you can amass even more of your positions. But right now, if we jump more into it, you can see how everything is not looking good. And the fear index is actually really bad right now. There's a whole bunch of different things that are pointing to the fact that everything is not looking too hot, y'all. But at the end of the day, one of the biggest things that we really determine how the markets are moving and how investors feel about the market is the fear and greed index. Right now, the crypto fear and greed index falls to 10, extreme fear. This now ties the bottom seen in February of 2025. So this is really crazy stuff. Whenever we start to see max fear like this is whenever somewhat of a switch is going to be happening because nobody wants to be investing into the markets. And this is where I try to give you a little bit of a bullish understanding, but you should also understand that we are in somewhat of a bear market. Everything is deviating and liquidity is shifting. So I think one of the best things you can do is dollar cost average right now, especially if you're investing in strong projects. If you're investing in meme coins and other random bullcrap, I don't know what to tell you. You should probably be looking into some stronger projects. But at the end of the day, this is something that is really important to anticipate moving into exactly the next move around crypto. Elise gives his perspective on the markets, and I thought this was a great post, just giving his understanding on how we've been seeing deviations. Altcoins aren't looking too good, but you should be ready for whenever the tide turns and whenever potentially altcoins can explode. So the bear market on altcoins has been going on for a couple of months now. That much is clear, which we're starting to realize, everyone's realizing. Just open a weekly chart, everything is down, volume is drying up, Bitcoin is taking the center stage, and the rest are struggling. It's normal for everything to seem dead. The interesting thing, however, is not to say we're in a bear market. Even a blind man can say that. What matters is understanding when the tide begins to turn. A serious reversal does not come with a sudden candle or a random pump. It usually starts slow, almost silently. Volume stops disappearing, the OBV stops bleeding, Bitcoin slows down for a moment and stops sucking up all the liquidity, pause, and some altcoins start to stop making lower lows. It is a process, not an event. For now, the market is still heavy. There's no point beating around the bush, but beneath the surface, something is starting to show small signs, those macro, micro restarts that are not yet trends, but are the prelude. And then he goes in to pretty much talk about exactly whenever he sees a credible reversal, not a 10-minute pump, but a real change in behavior, he's going to be sure to let us know. He says, but ETH is building a bottom, in his humble opinion, a little more depression, and then he would be happy. So right now, guys, the deviations are taking place and people like Elise are expecting more deviations in the market and how more likely we're going to be seeing a switch in all the price action, but you have to be keeping up with it. It's not something that's just going to signal automatically, hey, we're in a bull market. Congratulations, you're rich. you're done, set off into the sunset. That's just not how it works. If you keep up with liquidity and how everything moves, you'll start to see these small shift before the huge wave. And on this channel, that's exactly what I'm going to do for you. Now, KillXBT is the individual that's been keeping up with the price action around Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis, and then indicators that let us know exactly how the continuation with Bitcoin is going to be moving. We pretty much get multiple confluences by looking at multiple indicators, guys. This is going to be Bitcoin dominance. This is going to be the M2 money supply. This is going to be the USDT dominance as well, showing us how liquidity is moving back into stables as opposed to altcoins and Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is something that is, expected. Bitcoin deviations as expected. The chart alone is probably the most important in terms of structure because it pretty much gives us an understanding of the downtrend resistance on the weekly plus monthly. Goes into effect. He pretty much just says we can still extend to the 6.1% level, which corresponds to Bitcoin testing 89 to 90K, which is a little bit more, another 2,000 below where we're currently at. But it remains a key overall level. If we were to break out, we would see a wick to 76 to 78K. Whew, that is nasty. At 6.74%. I think that scenario is a bit too extreme. I think that's too extreme as well, given we are still in Q4. So I think a rejection first time is more than likely going to happen. So this means that more than likely we're going to see Bitcoin testing 89 to 90K, and then we're going to be seeing a pop up. Is that exactly going to happen? We do not know. No one has a crystal ball, which is exactly what Benjamin Cohen says. Just remember, no one actually has a crystal ball and knows what's going to happen in the crypto markets. Everybody is always wrong all the time. But whenever you start to keep up with the perspectives that have been consecutively, and they pretty much give you multiple different charts of Confluence so you can understand exactly how confident you feel in your positioning, this gives me really a strong understanding of more than likely where we're going to be going. We've been seeing a lot of manipulation in the market, but right now, all eyes are now on QE, which is quantitative expansion, renewed liquidity, and the stimulus checks that Trump is talking about. So he's saying he's expecting some complacency, a rally that catches many off guard. Positioning short delta in QE seems like a classic setup to prompt the reversal in the narrative. Always a reason for the pump slash dump. And this is where he gives his little chart, shows exactly where he thinks we're going to start pumping. Everyone's going to think that we're back above 100,000. Everything's going to explode. And then we start to deviate even more. And on my channel, I try to give you a real perspective, not a influencer filled, speech letting you know, oh, altcoin season is just going to happen and all y'all are going to get rich. Most y'all are going to lose because you don't keep up with everything that you need to keep up with. But the moment you start understanding exactly all these different indicators, you start to create yourself multiple confluences, and you can have an understanding on exactly how to position. Now, Dr. Profit has been the biggest bear who has been right on most of the things that has been happening in the market. And he just goes on to say that we're going to be seeing more deviations. He gives multiple charts breaking this down for us. And I'm honestly not going to go into it because it's pretty straightforward. Everyone's talking about the death cross. Everyone's talking about this and that and all these moving parts, when in reality, a lot of it is bullcrap, guys. I don't want to fill your brain with bullcrap. I want to give you exactly what is happening. And right now, all the stuff that everyone's saying about the death cross right now is complete garbage. Now, Crypto Mitchell now is the individual that I think is a great role model for anyone that's investing in altcoins. He goes on to say, yes, this is a terrible market environment. Yes, it feels like Bitcoin goes to 25K. Yes, it feels like altcoins are completely gone. No, I'm not selling my portfolio. I'm remaining patient. This is the heaviest disconnect I've ever seen between prices and assets within crypto and the fundamental growth that's been taking place. And I honestly think that he is not anticipating a lot of different moving parts in the market. But I think one of the biggest things is knowing that a shift is going to happen. And if you're investing in the right altcoins, we're going to be seeing a pump. Are they going to be returning all the way to the highs that we saw previously? No one truly knows. And that's why the best thing you can do is dollar cost average, lower your average entry point, and increase the amount of shares that you have of whatever company you're investing in. It's pretty straightforward. But like how I said, the fear and greed index is so low. This is why nobody wants to buy anything. This is why everyone thinks everything is over. And I'm gonna wrap this up with Benjamin Cohen's perspective, because I have said this multiple times on my channel from the start of whenever I had no idea what crypto was and how to actually navigate indicators, price action, everything, QA, TA, all this good stuff, guys. At the end of the day, just remember, no one actually has a crystal ball and no one truly knows what is going to happen. Everyone just bases everything off of previous price action, previous zones, previous, plays that we have seen, and exactly how everything looked in previous markets. You need to understand that. No one truly knows what's going to happen. And he even says he's been wrong plenty and he will be wrong in the future. And so have I. And that's why I think if you're following sources of information in terms of crypto, and this isn't financial advice, but at the end of the day, people go on YouTube looking for financial advice. You honestly need to do your research. You need to take exactly the information that people are giving you and then do your own fact check on it. From there, understand exactly what are they talking about. Some people are just talking out of their ass and they have no idea what they're saying. And then you see a comment and then it kind of correlates to what you were thinking, and then you think everything's over, you think everything's about to pump. Regardless, it skews your perception and it skews your perspective as well. And you need to not be one of those individuals. If you are, you're going to get freaking shreked, and I'm not going to feel very bad for you. So markets right now are dumping very, very significantly. And at the end of the day, what am I doing? I'm dollar cost averaging. I'm dollar cost averaging into my altcoin portfolio because I'm getting a lower entry point. And the moment we start to see a relief in the markets, I'm sure a lot of these coins are going to be starting to rally. But the fear and greed index is sitting at around 10, guys. Nobody wants to be investing whenever there is massive fear and uncertainty in the market. This week, we have some key news events that are going to be causing volatility. And at the end of the day, the 2025 bear market is already in the, mouths of everybody. Everybody's saying the bear market has started, how we're going to be seeing more downturn. And at the end of the day, we probably are. Could we be seeing some relief rallies? Yes, we could. And is there still going to be a shift in liquidity from Bitcoin into Ethereum and altcoins? Yes, I believe so. But right now, everyone has already lost patience. People do not believe that the crypto markets are going to recover. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of uncertainty in the markets. Do not be one of those individuals that capitulates your bag when everything is super, super, super down. A lot of these coins are going to be seeing somewhat of a rally, so the best thing you can do is wait for that rally and then exit if you want to do that. But I think that's honestly not the best decision that you can make. Now, if you're new to my channel, please go check out the rest of my content. I try to keep you updated on the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and everything you need to be aware of. I didn't drop a video this weekend because, again, I was very busy. Your YouTube channel hasn't been doing very well, so it's just a matter of, do I really want to put all this time and energy into the channel? At the end of the day, I want to monetize my channel, so it just makes sense for me to shoot videos, but I'm losing watch time right now because I've already been shooting videos for a year tops now, or no, in terms of a consecutive basis, over like a year and a half. So how watch time works is it pretty much has to be happened within 1 year, or they start taking away watch time. So I'm pretty much fighting the algorithm right now, and I hope that other individuals want real information like this so that they can position themselves. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions, drop them down below. I'm gonna drop another video tomorrow letting you know exactly what is to expect. Probably not too much updates tomorrow, but on Wednesday, that's whenever the start of the data that is rolling in is gonna be having an effect on everything. So expect volatility. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, drop them down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.